We got Josiah St. John, Big St. Joe, joining us from Toronto today. Again, one of the newest Saskatchewan Roughriders here for his second tour of duty. Big Josiah, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very well, very well. So, look, everybody was excited to see that you were coming back, signing that free agent deal with the Roughriders. How about you? How did it feel to re-sign back here?
It felt pretty good. I just played 3 years there, so like going back home. It's funny because I don't know if you guys, my parents are both pastors. So if you guys know the story of the prodigal son, he went off a little bit and he's coming back. That's kind of what I think of when I think about that. He's coming back home to Saskatchewan. I'm excited about it.
Good. I like to hear that, Josiah. But in the time since, because you left, we're with a couple teams. How much of a different guy are you now than when you were just 4 years ago when you went number one overall?
Oh, totally different. I think the experience this year I had was necessary. I think that I learned a lot this year. I learned what I want and what I don't want out of my CFL experience. So that really changed my mind about a lot of things. And as a player, taking things more seriously. I think the most important thing that a lot of young players, including myself, didn't really realize was it's not about lifting weights. It's not about all those things. It's also about taking care of your body and making sure you're able to stay healthy for the full season. A big issue I had was always constantly getting hurt in times where I could not afford to be hurt. So that's something I'm working for this year, making sure my body's good, constant massages, stretching, rolling out, making sure I can last all 18.
Josiah, we have a Canadian Football Hall of Famer here. Clark, you tell me if that screen froze. No, Josiah's still there. Jimmy, you're nodding your head on that. Hall of Famer as a president, not as a lineman. Forgive me for saying, Jim. But you were nodding your head on the mental side of the game. Can you add something to Josiah on what he said there?
No, I was reflecting back on my career, and I didn't play that long, but he really nailed it when he talked about taking care of yourself and staying healthy. We used to always say you can't make the tub in the club, or you can't make the club in the tub, and it's true. And you got to stay healthy for a very long season, and so taking care of yourself and doing those kind of things is very important. And having the great strength and all that's really important. But some guys really overdo the lifting and get tight and get into trouble with pulls and so on. So I'm glad to see him back. He obviously has talent, or he wouldn't have been drafted where he was. And I think it could be a real good signing for us.
Nothing to add to that. I know it's hard to say. So, Josiah, let me ask you about that. Thad Coleman was on here and said the key to his longevity is him looking after his body. So what have you learned in the pros that maybe you didn't learn at Oklahoma?
In the States, I played a Division I program where everything was done for you. Like, I didn't really have to really take care of my nutrition. You went to a place and the food you had to eat was there. They built stretching and stuff into our workouts. They worked us out. So coming from that system into being in a system where after the season's done, you have 6 months to really take care of yourself. And if you don't know how to do that yourself, then you'll be in some trouble. So I think what I did is I kind of overdid the lifting. I really wanted to improve my strength and didn't take the aspect of the flexibility. So I'll have little pulls and tears every once in a while. I was just really nagging. Nothing that's overly bad. Nothing that's really that bad, like breaking bones. But I'm tearing stuff and rupturing stuff every year. So that's kind of what I had to get better at, I would say. And I point of focus for my offseason this year. Picking up different things, stretching consistently. I put a mat right by where the TV is. So I'm watching TV. I'm stretching consistently, rolling out. I think it's making a difference in my flexibility. So hopefully it translates to staying healthy all 18 games this year.
So you spent 3 years here, and then you had stops in BC and Edmonton. What's it like playing for those franchises versus Saskatchewan?
It's a little bit different. It's crazy because I went to Toronto at first for a little bit. Then I went to BC, then I went to Edmonton. So I kind of pretty much played for half the league already in a sort of year. So it's different because the fans, I think, are the biggest factor. Like when you're in Saskatchewan, you really feel like you're a professional football player. BC was cool. I liked the team, I liked the environment there. Edmonton was cool too. I really like Jason Moss. I'm glad to see he's over here in Saskatchewan now too. And then in Toronto for a little bit. I think the fans, I think the engagement, go there in Saskatchewan, you know what you're going to get. It's going to be a lively, college-like experience. But that's kind of what I would say the biggest difference is.
We were talking earlier about the Riders O-line getting a little old. It's not a secret. I mean, they're very talented. They've all had Hall of Fame careers. But for a young guy like you and Shepley, there's a huge opportunity here. Now, You got the long levers. You got, I would say, a tackle body. Like, where would you rather play, inside or outside on the O-line, if you had a choice?
If I had a choice, it's tough. Coming into the league, I would have said, kick me a tackle. That's what I've known and I've played. But just me bouncing around and playing guard the last couple of years, I've developed, I feel like, as a really high-level guard. I think I'm a starting caliber offensive guard in this league. Tackle was something I'll probably need another year to work on. But when I go back to Saskatchewan this year, one thing I actually want to talk to them about is just in training camp and even preseason, play me a tackle just in case an emergency comes up and I have to kick out there. I'm not really just haven't played since college. I played tackle all through college. Was a really highly recruited player coming out of junior college. So I'm comfortable there, but I've been playing guard the last couple of years. So that's kind of why I'll make my stand if I can.
Jim, can you talk about the differences between the two? You must have played them all in your time.
Yeah, interestingly, in '74, I started most of the season at left guard, but we ran into injury problems, and I started 5 games at right tackle. And boy, I found it really different. I'd played a little tackle before, but I loved playing inside because of the physical nature of being a guard and you know, a lot of bodies and a lot of crashing and banging. But you move out to tackle, and it's a speed game, and you're on an island out there. You're kind of by yourself. And when you don't make your block, the quarterback usually gets killed. So I felt less stress playing inside, and maybe because you had help from the center and all the rest of it. But they're very different positions, and you can't be as physical outside. You have to be more cerebral. You really have to have good feet. And I remember playing against some pretty good defensive ends, and I was always glad to get through the game and not give up a big sack or get our quarterback killed.
Well, you guys would know better than me, but they say the closer you get to the ball, the more violent it is. So, Josiah, yeah?
The closer you get to center, the smarter you are. That's what we used to always say.
Okay, I heard it differently. How do you feel about that adage, Josiah?
I definitely agree. When you're out there, it's more finesse. It's more of an athlete game. When you're inside, it's more so physicality, constantly trying to finish your blocks, cleaning the pocket. Like, those are things I enjoy doing. And I feel like for me at this point, it's really brainless. I've been playing a lot, so I don't have to think about my sets anymore. I look and I actually know where to set and where to place my hands. I think for me to transition back to tackle will just take maybe some time, like getting some actual live reps doing it. I haven't actually taken a live rep at tackle since I was in college. So, yeah, I think that'll be a little bit of adjustment. But playing inside is definitely more of a fun position. You can kind of just come off the ball as hard as you can and really hit people. So that's what I enjoy doing.
Well, Jim talked about the footwork. I've seen you. You spend a lot of time on your feet work, Josiah. How far has it come in the last 4 years, would you say?
It's come a long way. And I think I put it down for a while because one thing is that coming out of when I went to Oklahoma, I was known for my feet. I was a really tall guy, really athletic, really good feet. And I stopped working on it for a while because I thought as I was strengthening me, work on other things. So I think now this offseason I actually picked it back up. And let me keep on strengthening my strengths along with getting stronger. That's one thing I've been working on a lot, is to have elite level strength. I want to be able to finish blocks and last all the game and really not have it be overpower me, which I haven't had in a while. So that's kind of what I've been focused on the most time. But yeah, I've always had the quick feet. That's my signature. Really
from producer Clark, he wants to know, what's it been like playing with Brendon Labatt? What's it done for your career?
It's done a lot. Labatt, Blue, as we call him, Dan, Thad, all those guys, man. Like, I really can't thank them enough. And I wish I would have known more, to listen more when I was in my rookie season. I think my second year I started to take a little more heed to what they had to say, and just watching how they go about their business, watching how they play, how they set. And I've added pieces of all their games like to my game. That is very smart. That understands defenses. That's what I try to take from him. Dan's just a dog. He wants to finish you. He wants to take your heart every time I take him in a game. And Blue's just calculated. His sets are clean every time. He's going to get to where he needs all the time. Really good feet, really good athlete. So I've taken pieces of all those guys' game and tried to merge it into mine.
I got 2 last questions for you. One, Oklahoma is actually on my bucket list. I don't know when it's going to happen. Have you been, Jim?
No.
Oh, would you like to?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go together.
Okay.
Josiah, do you ever go back, Josiah?
Went back a year ago for the spring game, and I'm actually thinking I'm gonna go back this year because actually this is the last year anybody I played with is gonna be on the team. This is like the last year. All the freshmen I was there, they're gonna be gone. One of my good friends, Neville Gallimore, is gonna go in the draft this year, so I'm excited about that. Hopefully, be back there in time. I'll go check him out. We signed Zach Sanchez too. I played with him, and funny enough, Justice Hansen I played with him too before he transferred to Arkansas State. So a couple Oklahoma guys up there in Riderville this year.
It is a small world, and I'm sure they'll be happy to see a friendly face when they walk into the locker room for the first time. And secondly, Derek Dennis was on here on Monday. He talked about the XFL versus CFL, and he said the line play is way more violent. How much are you down there? How much are you watching what's going on in the XFL? Are you enjoying the games?
I pay attention a little bit more so just to see anybody I played with, seeing how they're doing. My old roommate, Jordan Small, who plays for the LA team. I check in. I haven't really watched a full game. I think when Dennis starts playing, I might check in a couple full games, but otherwise, kind of just watching highlights. But general, like down there is a different game. Here it's more speed on the line. Down there it's just power. So you have a lot of D linemen who are 320, 330 pounds, where you won't really see that up here. I think that the yard off the ball almost makes it a little bit easier if you're lighter because you have more room to make offensive linemen miss, as opposed to in the States where you're nose to nose, like you don't have no room, so it's more so of a power game. I think it's just two different styles. I don't think it's more so anybody is bigger or stronger or anything like that. I just think it's just the style of game is different.
For sure. Well, Josiah, this has been a fun chat. Appreciate it. Glad to see you back in green and white. And again, we'll see you when you get back to town here. Good luck.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to come back.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.